2021 real estate, guys, and it's not slowing down. 2020 was a crazy market, a year for the market, and this is no exception, and everything's going crazy too. From what I hear, from what I'm seeing, is that the actual inventory has gone down in certain areas. So Orange County definitely has gone down. Out here in Utah has gone down quite a bit as well. So it's really making it difficult for a lot of buyers to actually find properties and get their offers accepted. So with inventory being at a minimal and tons of people still trying to take advantage of the rates before they go up, since, by the way, they are going up. So if you are looking for a house, you want to get in contract soon, you want to lock up that low interest rate before A, those go up, or before B, the prices go up, just because people aren't selling their properties right now. So I'm going to give you guys a couple tricks on how to actually get your offers accepted. Of course, if you contact me, I will be able to help you guys with this as your real estate agent as well. But if you're already working with another agent, please make sure that you guys are listening to their advice, as well as, taking some of these pointers if you're not actually, if they're not telling you this stuff. So first off, don't try to expect to get a deal right now, especially if it's a turnkey property. So if it's nice, if it's been, slightly updated, then you're not going to get a deal. All right. That means you want to make sure that you are looking at the actual price of the home, or what the price is worth, or the value of the home, right? So your real estate agent, or myself, if I was representing you, will do a comparable market analysis, which is essentially an appraisal. So what I do is I look at the house myself. I think what it's going to appraise for based on, the previous sales, like properties, and also the percentage of how fast the market is moving. So if you have, let's say, a house that's kind of unique in an area that doesn't have a lot of recent sales, you're going to have to use some foresight, or actually look at the last, 6 months to a year, how fast have things been appreciating, and from there really look at what that house is worth, because Zillow a lot of times is not correct, especially in this type of market where it's moving so fast. Zillow's $10,000, maybe $20,000 behind, right? I mean, I just sold a property at the beginning of the year that was on Zillow was worth $600,000, and we sold it for $670,000. So that's a huge difference. So if your agent, or if you're not good at looking at the price per square foot of your area and identifying your type of home and the condition, and try to get a good understanding of what it's worth, you might either A, overpay for a property, or B, underpay for a property, or maybe under offer and lose out on getting your contract accepted. Okay, so the name of the game right now, if you're trying to buy a property, is get your contract or your offer accepted by the sellers. And then from there, you can work on getting money off if you need to, or whatever it is, you can back out if you think that you did offer too much. But the key right now is understanding up front what the house is worth, understanding what the story of this house is, in the sense of, what's the actual story of it in its long, in its lifespan, right? So, who owns it, why are they selling, things like that. But really what's most important is, what's the story today? How many offers do they have on the table? Do they have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 offers, right? I had to go out and, for some clients, 17 offers, and win out of those 17. Or this other one we're in escrow with right now, we had to win out of 8 different people. So the question is, how do you get your offer to win, right? So the keys are going to be finding out too, what do the sellers want? Do they want faster closes? Do they want smaller contingency periods? Things like that. Do they want a longer escrow, right? There's a lot of little terms within those contracts that you can move around and manipulate that don't necessarily mean you have to go with the highest price. But of course, when it comes to this type of market, if there's 8 other properties out there, highest price wins, best borrowing situation wins. So you also want to make sure that you are showing them your down payment, that you prove that you can close on that property. You want to also make sure that you're showing them whether or not you're an FHA or VA loan, right? So if you can qualify for a conventional and versus FHA, show them the conventional loan, because the conventional loans are the best when it comes to a seller accepting your offer, versus having them take a look at, let's say, a HOA or a VA that may require some additional repairs when it comes to the finish line, and they may not want to be doing that. So they would prefer to have a conventional loan, cash buyers, or, you know, somebody with enough down payment to cover any additional costs or any small little things that might come up in the home inspection. So those are some of the different things that you want to do in order to get your offers accepted. Also keep in mind that you always have your contingency period. So if let's say you offer $50,000 over the asking price, then what happens there is, if the appraisal, as long as you have your contingency period set, your appraisal contingency, if the appraisal comes in lower, then you can renegotiate the price at that time. But if you never get the offer accepted, then you are completely SOL, as they say. You're not even in the game. So the next thing is, of course, to make sure that you are being careful. If your agent comes up to you, or let's say I'm representing you, and then we have 10 other offers on this other property, and now 2 of them remove their appraisal contingencies, well, now you might be in hotter water. So you have to decide, do you really want this house? And if you really do, are you willing to, let's say, trust yourself or trust your agent to really evaluate the value of that property and remove that appraisal contingency? So what that means, when you remove your appraisal contingency, it means that you no longer can renegotiate the price if the appraisal comes back and it is lower than what you offered. So you got to be careful, because you can put yourself in some really hot water. One, you have to keep in mind that if you do this, right, because a lot of people are having to do this just to get their offers accepted, but you got to make sure that, one, you have the money as from the down payment, or you have the money to cover the difference. If it does, let's say you offer, to make numbers easy, let's say it's a $500,000 house and you offered $550,000, and the appraisal comes in at 500, that means there's 50 grand that you got to cover, right? And so what I mean by covering is that your loan, or your lender, is only going to see it worth as 50 grand, no, sorry, 500,000, and they're only going to lend up to $500,000. So if you were to do, let's say, 20% down on that property, then they're only going to lend up to the 20% to the 500,000, not the 550,000. So anything above what the appraisal is pretty much cash out of your pocket. So if you don't have the money to cover it, then you better make sure that if you are removing appraisal contingencies, you're sure that it's going to be worth that. Okay. So again, these are all things that we help with our clients. We all make sure that we explain it to them, and I don't put my clients in hot water. So if we're throwing off higher offers that we can renegotiate in the end because of the appraisal, we want to make sure that we have that appraisal contingency in place. And if we don't, then it's a completely different type of offer. And so if the agents come back, the selling agents come back and say, okay, we need appraisal contingencies removed before you will be reviewed again as a viable offer, now we have to go back to the drawing table and really understand what that house is worth, so that way you, as the client, don't get in the hot water. Okay, so it's a strategy. Every real estate transaction is different, and every situation is different. So it's something that you really got to trust your agent on and really do your own thinking. So I do have other videos on how to actually do your own appraisal or market analysis or value for your property, and that's all going to be based on, you know, your price per square feet, your upgrades, your amenities, your recent sales, things like that. So obviously every property is different. Call me if you have any questions, or send me a text message or whatever message on Facebook, Instagram. Any of these will help. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.